how do we stay positive with all the bad news?
For a long time, I was trying to stay positive in the midst of everything going on. And it can be such a challenging thing to stay positive, especially if we're sensitive, we're overwhelmed by all this different stuff happening. Even if we do feel down and even if we do feel weighed down, we still can raise our vibration. I don't think it's about making negativity disappear. I think it's about looking in the eye of it, but also seeing that we have this opportunity to create change by doing the inner work. Because healing the world is an inside job. High vibes for me are high vibes for we.
Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation. If you've ever wanted to raise your vibration, particularly in the face of bad news, then do we have the Raise Your Vibration show for you. Today I'll be talking with Kyle Gray, best-selling author, angel expert, and the author of a book that sold over 100,000 copies, Raise Your Vibration. And that's just what I want to talk with him about today, about simple techniques to raise your energy and vibration to a higher level. So welcome back to the show, Kyle. Are you ready to shine?
Yes.
And that was almost a cock-a-doodle-doo.
All these animals, your side and my side.
We had a bear come down. Since we've had baby Hannah and moved to this house, we've had skunk, we've had deer, we've had squirrels, we've had chipmunks, we've had black squirrel, we've had beaver coming to the door, and we had a giant black bear come down the driveway a couple of days ago who is almost as big as the Tesla. This is huge.
No.
Yes. So we're calling in the angels. All right, we may go there, but before we dive right into things, can't believe I'm going to ask this, but how do we stay positive, Kyle, with all the bad news?
I mean, I think that's quite difficult, you know. One of the things I'll say is for a long time, I realized that, well, for a long time, I was trying to stay positive in the midst of everything going on. And it can be such a challenging thing to stay positive when, especially if we're sensitive, we're overwhelmed by all this different stuff happening. But one thing that I have come to realize is that even if we do feel down and even if we do feel weighed down by challenging information out there, we still can raise our vibration. And the key to that is to ensure that you have a daily spiritual practice, and it can be as little as like 5 minutes long, but just that moment where you get rid of that veil between you and the divine. And if we can come to that daily in our lives, the energy that we curate and create in that moment is the energy that far outweighs that of fear, negativity, insecurity, uncertainty. So I don't think it's about making negativity disappear. I think it's about looking in the eye of it, but also seeing that we have this opportunity to create change by doing the inner work. Because healing the world is an inside job, you know? And it's like what we do for ourselves and what we do on the inside is ultimately what we're going to contribute to the world. So I think it's not about necessarily being positive. It's about curating this energy that is positive by also feeling how we need to feel.
So I want to talk about curating energy. Before we do that, since you went there, it's interesting. I'm giving a talk tonight on YouTube Live about the angels have been talking to me about creating a sacred space, and a sacred space can be temporal as well as physical, but it's a place that you drop in for a few minutes each day to get in attunement. That's what you're talking about. Would you mind sharing what your daily practice is where you get in attunement?
Yeah, I mean, my daily practice is maybe more committed than a lot of people because I'm about 45 minutes.
I want to hear all of it. Let's hear attunement from Kyle Gray.
Yeah, so for me, my practice, I like to do my practice near the evening, like that. that's when I'm best energized. I think I have practices throughout the day because the first thing I do, I have a big dog and two small dogs, but the first thing I do in the morning is I get up, put my jeans on, grab a coffee, and I'm straight out with the dog, and I'm out for like 45 minutes in nature. So there's that practice, but my spiritual practice is more chanting, meditation based. So I tune in, just take that opportunity to recognize that I am part of the bigger picture and kind of tune into this thinking that the divine has many facets and I'm one of it. I'm one of those facets, and dull that line between me and the divine, recognizing there's no distance, no space between us. We're actually one. And then in that moment, I do this meditation where I call in the angels. I invite them to reveal to me what I need to know and just listen. And then I do a number of, I'm really into Kundalini meditation. So I do a number of Kundalini meditations, one where I just sit in silence and meditation for 11 minutes. And then I do another one where I chant for 11 minutes again. And then at the end of that, depending on how I'm feeling or what I'm doing, I'll do something else. But it always finishes with me picking cards. always. And since this book was redone, I pick a lesson every single day. So I have my lesson of the day today that I brought, which I found quite in alignment with what you're asking about. So that's how my practice is. And I usually spend about 20 minutes playing harmonium, just chanting, practicing, doing these songs to God. Like that's my...
It's interesting. A Kundalini meditation, and I want to know more. Your chanting and your harmonium. To me, that's what I was talking about getting in attunement. What we're talking about is specifically vibration, frequency, and literally harmony with the universe.
Right. Because sound is vibration too. And that's the one thing that the mystics knew. Like you just look at the Sufis and the yogis, and there's all these different great mystics of the world recognize that through sound we can vibrate the cosmos, and that's exciting. And, when I learned, because I initially studied music, like that was a big part of my life. When I learned that the heart was to match the beat of the music that you're listening to, there was something special in that for me. So over the years, music's come and gone, but the last 2 years, consistently, I've done the same practice, unbroken, because I've always been this type of person where I've always meditated. I've always had a practice in that way. And it's been like a minimum of 5 minutes a day. But as my life started to get busy, and it was funny because being spiritual is my profession, but the business of being spiritual can sometimes get in the way of you actually doing the work. I would be like, I'll need to put that on hold, or I'll put that on hold. I need to do this. I need to hit this deadline. I need to do this thing. Now I've made it non-negotiable, like a non-negotiable, like I have to do this practice. And I used to make my life, I used to fit my practice around my life. Now I fit my life around my practice. And there's been a big shift in that for me. And with that, a lot of lifestyle changes have come in, just really simple things that you can do differently.
Could you give us a few examples?
Like I've never been a big drinker, but I've always loved beer. Like it's always been I didn't drink till I was a little bit later. Not until I joined Hay House, weirdly. So I didn't drink till a little bit later. So I was always like a 3 drinks max, like 3 beers and I'm done. I don't think there's a problem with that. Like once a week, But now I'm like, I can't do it. Just like not one drop. And the initial reason for me not drinking was because I didn't want to go out drinking and then come back and do my practice. I would just be like, I'm not going to drink alcohol because I want to go back and do a really great meditation tonight. And then this weird thing happened where my friends who are not necessarily interested in what I do or live the lifestyle the way I live it started matching me. They'd be like, oh, we're not going to drink either because we want to meditate too. can we come back to yours when we're finished at dinner and do the practice with you? You know, and I was like, that's interesting, because I've been doing this for 20 years and I've never noticed or at least recognized how infectious it can be when you're so committed to what you do. I've always kept it separate, you know, like I have my friends and I have my practice, but now the lines are starting to shift.
Let's go to raising your vibration. You're getting into a frequency, a vibratory alignment, or what I would say is you're the largest tuning fork in the room. So if we go bing and you've got zzz, then others wish, or they start to, without even thinking about it, start to come in vibrational alignment with your frequency. And then they may go pop, pop, pop. Hey, what's going on? I want to feel more of this. Can you tell me, Kyle, what you're doing so I can feel it as well?
And the funniest thing is there's this meditation, and I'll tell you, I was like, I'm going to see like how dedicated these guys are. And there's a meditation where you have to sit with your arms like this for 11 minutes and you chant this mantra, Wahe Guru, Wahe Guru, Wahe. And your arms are like this just constantly. And the guys did it. They're like, whoa, that was powerful, like powerful. And I was like, whoa. So yeah, I think it's so cool. And I think that's something that I've realized in myself is that even though I've made this my life, there has definitely been times I've held back on who I am in order to conform and make things easier. But now I've realized that through this shift in my own vibration and the dedication to the practice, it has become infectious. Vibes are infectious.
They're cool. And so, this is why I think we're actually making positive shifts on the planet. There's a Hawaiian term. It's called pono. That means to be righteous, pure, or true. And there's an interesting thing to me the farther you go down the line as a spiritual teacher, however we want to define that. And that is, you get to walk the walk more and more. Or we've got a judicious use of the bleep key here, goes down. So you get challenged more and more on your path. And I think this COVID, post-COVID, whatever the world time we're in right now, is a time of requiring a high degree of pono, a high degree of being righteous or pure or true, not meaning you have to be a teetotaler or whatever that means. And I don't drink either. It just never worked with my vibration. And I don't judge anybody for anything. But you get to walk that walk, to do your practice at the highest level right now. Or I'm convinced, we'll go back to John Lennon and his song Instant Karma, it ain't going to work out for you, Kyle. And I'm sure you've seen that, where you did things a different way and they went...
Yeah. I think it was just more I needed to step up to the vibe I was creating. It was like it needed, and I look back and my life has been very aligned and a lot of great things have happened, but I think I've had to navigate life because when I look at it, I signed my first book, I was 22. So I've grown up in this world, and now I'm 34. So it's a long time down the line and a lot has changed and I'm grateful for it. But I've never felt closer to God's source, the universe, than I have now. And it's not up there. It's through here. It's more like I've discovered the divine in me and through me, which I never had before because I was always reaching. For it,
So let's say you take a spiritual seeker. I'll put that in quotes. Somebody who's listening today, but is going from one book to the next book, one interview to the next interview, one, not a speaking engagement, one event to the next event. And they're always seeking something out there.
Mm-hmm.
How do we help? Because that's hard. Let's be honest. That seeking is very hard. Yes. How do we get back here?
It's a great question. The one thing that I look at is just it's a really basic thing, but spirituality is a personal experience of the divine. And in order to get to that personal experience of the divine, we have to bring into alignment the three aspects of spirituality, which is mind, body, spirit. And so for a long time, I was all in the mind. I was super charged on the mind level. And for a long time, I was supercharged on the soul level. And then for a long time, I was in the body, but I could never get them to fully come into the same place at the same time. And that's where the big shift happened for me. It was like making my body and mind be a song of the soul, and that's where this thing came, because I was always trying to perfect my body so it would soon be good enough, or hone the mind so it could manifest and create, or whereas I realized it was more about letting the mind do what it needs to do, claiming the body is sacred, and experiencing the soul through it all, because the mind is the glue that allows you to experience body and soul as one. And that's where the big shift was for me. I call it the Gaudi.
Oh, I have never heard. I've heard a lot of terms. I haven't heard that one before.
God in the body, the Gaudi, I call it.
So if we go full circle, because this is a beautiful new edition of your book, and we go back to when you wrote the first edition, and there are all of these practices early on for the body part of the Gaudi, because at that point, I don't think you had the Gaudi yet.
It was funny because when I wrote the first book, I was in India and I was on retreat in India studying yoga intensely. But when I look back, I'm like, yes, your handstands were amazing. Yes, your legs were behind your head and you were in prayer pose. But you were I was pushing the body and using the body, but I wasn't one with the body.
I get that. Coming out of having lived in Boulder, Colorado for many years, there are these very yang yoga practices there.
Yeah, the Ashtangis are all in Boulder. Yeah, so yeah, I was even using the body or punishing the body in the practice in the hope it would become divine. And I just think that's more a life experience thing, and getting older, I think that is a benefit of the practice. You shift. But something happened when I started doing these Kundalini meditations where I was chanting and in meditation and doing this movement. Something happened. They call it, the Sikhs call it the Shabad Guru, the teacher of the song. So it's like, again, you're learning when you're singing the praises of the divine. And I realized that I think that actually exists in all things, because I've always loved devotional music, even Christian music. There's something so like, whoa, about it. And I think all traditions are actually doing the same thing, where getting in tune with the vibration and having this full body experience of the divine. So I realized I needed to do that on a daily basis for everything else to come into alignment.
At the end, would you mind leading us in some sort of a Kundalini meditation?
Sure. Yeah, I'm sure we can make that happen.
Excellent. Okay, so this glamping environment that I live in, and this isn't a background behind me. There's sun pouring down and stuff. I've never had one of these before. And I have to be careful when I say this because she's listening. It has an Alexa, which is your Amazon little speaker that listens to you and will play whatever music you want. If she hears your name, she's going to start to play something. So I'm whispering to you. Do you have go-to pieces of music that you go to on a regular basis to help you stay in alignment?
Yeah, I've got this playlist I use every single day. And it was so funny because it's interesting you've asked that, because I had this playlist and I've used it every single day since I started being dedicated to this style of practice. And then I wanted to start teaching people how to do this style of practice. And I realized that I would need all these permissions to to use all this music. So I ended up making a full album of my own versions of all the practices that I've done. Not released it. It's just, and I created the platform where I'm going to use it. But yes, I do. And if you use Spotify, for example, you can look up my name, and I have this playlist called Meditation and Kriya Practice, and it's my whole playlist.
And I'm going to suggest everybody truck on over. Wait till this is done, then truck on over, because to me, frequency is everything. And one of the most powerful frequencies is sound. And so if there's something that you're bathing yourself in on a daily basis, I think we all get to. I'm running Tibetan bowls or whatever sounds on a daily basis help us get in alignment. I see the shifts with my baby. Roosters are the most sensitive animal I've ever seen on the planet because their whole job is to protect. And so they're watching frequency. I believe he can see sound. And so actually, it's getting weird. I've been joking about baby Hannah and saying she's becoming more like Rue, which is the song stops. You're playing something that is so in attunement. It's so beautiful. It's so perfect. And the song stops. And I don't know if she's going to cry first because the music stopped, or if he's going to crow first because the music stopped.
I mean, that's a high maintenance Rue you have there.
Yes. Oh, he's very serious about his music. He is very, very serious about it. And he's gone through different phases. Thankfully, he's passed out of the Barry White phase. He had his swing phase, his big band phase. Elvis was very short-lived. And right now it is classical, but it has to be uplifting pieces or anything in the meditative family that's not just piano. Piano doesn't kind of work for him, but if you throw a harp in there, for instance, some chimes, he's good to go.
Love that.
So, what else do we need to know? Raise your vibration. What do we need to know about vibration specifically? What exactly is it? What's it doing for us? And is it sort of like ingesting food?
I mean, that probably can come into it too, right? So yeah, vibrate. When we speak about vibrate, I guess everyone in spirituality has a different way of seeing this. But when I speak about vibration, I'm speaking about your vibes. And, you know, we've heard people say this term, vibes speak louder than words, or vibes don't lie. And whether you're spiritually minded or not, whether you are someone who's read The Alchemist and done all the courses or not, I'm sure you've probably used the term vibe in some way or another. And people speak about vibes all the time, even if they're not into meditation or anything. They'll say, oh, that was a really cool vibe tonight, or that person's giving off a weird vibe. So when we actually just look at conversation, people are reading energy all the time. And we're also reacting to energy. So we'll say, oh, that person ruined my day, or they were such a good influence on me. We're using conversation all the time to kind of point out the fact that people around us and environments and experiences have some sort of energetic impact on our life. And when I speak about raising your vibration, it's about taking that power back into your own hands, recognizing that you are the keeper of your own mind and your own life and your own destiny, and choosing to consciously work with that energy and direct it in such a specific way. And so therefore, for me, raising your vibration is about consciously aligning your life to the energy of love and purpose while maintaining a personal connection to the divine. That's it. As simple as that. And so it's not a one-time effort or a one-time thing. It's a consistent practice. And the way I like to look at it is every single day, it's like your vibes reset and you're back to zero and you have to do it again. So it's, yeah. And so it's just about every single day, finding some sort of way to align your life to love and purpose. And it doesn't have to be about purpose as in, I'm a light worker, I'm here to save the world. It's just about having a sense of purpose in the world, because as soon as we find a sense of purpose, it gives us a whole new meaning. It gives us a whole new reason for being. And I think that's why it's so cool. You look at like science, and even though I'm not no scientist and I don't necessarily need it, but when you look at science and it says doing acts of kindness or doing good things to help someone else actually allows your heart valves to expand and blood reach around your body. Like science is a song of vibration. And it actually supports the idea that when you are doing good things and being a good person, your physiology reflects it back.
It's very interesting that you say heart valves, and I have no idea what my wife's thinking of me saying this right now, but we had surgery on baby Hannah when she was born to open her heart valve more.
Oh, wow.
Because she was a twin. Her twin passed away in the womb, but her heart was beating for both twins. And so her muscle got too strong, and we had to actually physically expand the valve. And so it's very interesting that you would say that specifically.
It is, isn't it? And yet, yeah, I mean, whew, that's a lot.
It's a lot when you realize we have an appointment tomorrow to find out if she gets to have a second procedure. So what we are doing is we're going to the angels because her heart's grown. We're going to the angels. We're going to healing work on her. We're helping her stay in that state of love as much as possible to see if that will expand without anything else needing to be done.
Right. And so that will make sense to the classical music.
Yes. All of it. Every single thing I'm looking at. When I say ingest, the reason I said that, and you have it in your book, and it's a brilliant book, is that everything has a frequency to it. Everything has a vibe to it. What are you choosing to ingest? We are in such an interesting time, so to speak, where I can go in the news or social media or wherever. I can go to the Weather Channel, and I can find all these negative vibes flying at me left, right, and center. If I want to read those articles, I am therefore, to me, ingesting a lower frequency piece of music, and I'm going to have to work hard just to counter it, and then I'm going to have to work harder still, do the practice even more to get back to the high vibes. So what am I choosing to put in myself?
Mm-hmm.
And so that becomes, let's go to the cards now. You go to a practice every day, you go to the cards, and I'm guessing the cards are a state change for you, where no matter what you're doing, the cards will help pull you out and pull you up. Does that sound right?
Yeah, my cards are more like a confirmation usually. So it's like I do it at the end of the practice, not at the beginning. So I always find that you get better experience after you've done the work to raise your vibration, because I think before you do so, you have like a desired outcome and a specific ask. And then when you do the practice, you kind of come back to center. And I say come back to center because that's our natural state, and then the cards usually reflect something I need to know or something I'm already feeling. I just need some sort of confirmation on.
Should we go, with a dangerous SH word, but should we go first to what you opened up to today, kind of your theme for the day, and then we go to the cards? Let's go there. What did you get?
It's so interesting because the book was laying open on my desk, and I just grabbed it, and I was walking into this room to do this away from dogs barking and stuff, and it was Vibe 8, You Are Safe. And do you want me to read it to you?
Sure. Could you hear that off to the side? Can you hear that clucking noise that just came about? That was a rooster sound of love and safety, just as you said that.
Well, it said, you are safe. You have answered the call to leave this earth in a better state than when you came to it. That's ultimately what raising your vibration is all about. What does this have to do with feeling safe? If you're feeling unsafe in yourself, your world can reflect this. You may find yourself in circumstances or situations that echo this feeling. This can be extremely difficult to shake, especially if you've been subjected to a difficult start in life or a lifestyle that has chipped away at your self-worth. But you have been called here, and today's message from the universe is simple and clear. You deserve to feel safe. All that you do for yourself is what you offer up to the world. Therefore, feeling safe and experiencing safety is a purposeful mission. Feeling safe creates a wave of healing and change that washes over your world, and bit by bit, this can contribute to greater healing. In order to move to a safe place, you have to acknowledge all the fears you have. Taking time to feel them out allows you to recognize that feelings are just feelings, and they don't have to be your truth. You can change the narrative. This isn't about avoidance. This is about recognition. Feel how you need to feel before working on how you want to feel. The way you overcome your fears is to remember that even though that you've been hurt emotionally or physically, the real you can never be tarnished. Your soul is eternal and unbreakable. Let that be the light that guides you to safety. And then it says vibe of the day, and it's a little affirmation. It says, there is no place safer for me than my body. My body is the home of my soul. My outer self is a reflection of my inner self. My soul is the true and real aspect of myself, and it can never be broken, tarnished, or damaged. My soul is healed and whole. Today I claim my safety because the light of my soul shines within a light of protection. I am safe.
Woohoo!
Isn't that awesome?
It's pretty supercharged.
I was reading that and I was getting goosebumps because I felt like you needed to hear that, you know? And
it certainly
my arm hair, it's literally on. Yeah, I just feel when I read that, I don't even feel I wrote that. And you know, you're the automatic writing guy, you know.
Well, that becomes my question, of course, is what was the state that you were in when you downloaded that?
Yeah, it definitely is, you know, as you know, it's something that moves through you. And I think when you place yourself in a position where you just like, hey, universe, do the talking, I think it's very loud and it's very clear and very potent.
Couldn't agree more. So then how do you, one of the things that was mentioned is there, you can choose something else. Let's say that you go down. Let's say that you feel unsafe. Which today you accidentally click the wrong button and the news pops out and tells you something and you're going, oh my God.
Right. I watch the news. So I do. Not like daily, but I'll sometimes just pop them on and just see what's happening, you know? Yeah, sometimes I'll just kind of reflect. I don't do it all the time, you know, probably, but if something's happening politically or whatever, I'm usually checking on a few YouTube videos and just see what people are saying about it. And then I'll make a decision. But yeah, what if you get sucked in? What is that what you're going to say?
What if you get sucked in, specifically if your vibes get sucked in, meaning you start to sync up with that fear-based frequency?
Yeah. The first thing I always say to people is if you've been sucked in and it is within your capabilities, move. Do something to move your body. So if that's like putting on Elvis Presley and just having a dance for 5 minutes, you know, or going a walk with a dog in nature, going to the ocean front, just get nature and movement are the best ways just to clear the air. I always say to people that you can imagine the shower as a car wash as well. If that's, you know, if you're not in the shower yet, get in the shower, go to the car wash and just clean it off. Doing something just to shift the dynamic is a brilliant idea. So movement is one way to raise your vibration. The other one is breathing, just intently breathing, just taking a moment just to connect with your breath, because we take the breath for granted. And I find it really fascinating that the yogis saw no difference between the word breath and life force. It's the same thing, prana, you know. So just taking a moment to breathe can just revitalize your body instantly. Moving, breathing, and then some sort of practice to clear your energy, like calling on the angels. Oh my, that's so weird. That card was stuck to my arm there. My breath connects me to life. I went like that and it was stuck on here.
As you're talking about breath, of course.
Elbow crease sweat sticking to the card.
I'm gonna have to go to your tats in a bit here because I think you've gotten many new ones since we last spoke. I could be wrong.
Probably wrong. I haven't had one for a long time. I'm just officially tatted. Yeah. I actually said to my mother recently, I wish I had no tattoos, but I'm okay with having them. Yeah, I'd love to know myself without them, but I don't think I would be myself without them, you know.
I understand. I don't have tattoos. I have incision marks all over my body where titanium was inserted. And yeah, it'd be cool without the titanium and the incisions, but it is who I am. Perfect.
Yeah, I forgot you're a bionic man.
Yeah, twin femurs, twin hips, some other stuff. I've now got, since we last spoke, a titanium wrist, so it works great. So on Jessica's birthday, November 10th of last year, I was gifted with an SUV kissing me when I was on my bicycle. And I am lucky to be here, and it specifically was on her birthday. You can't make that up, and it was coming back.
Dare you?
Why wasn't I home with her, Kyle, working on our vibes rather than out on a bike ride?
Riding a bike is a brilliant way to raise your vibration. It's an amazing way. Just especially because you have to do it outside and you're in nature and air and just...
Actually, okay, so we're going way off topic, but might as well. When we lived in New Jersey, and we did till 3 weeks ago, she wouldn't let me ride my bike outside afterwards. She got me this computer thing where you could ride your bike inside against other people and ride around. For me, and people have used it and gone out and then won world championships in triathlon and this and that. But for me, the frequency wasn't the same as being, and you can shift. It's all an internal job. So even though it's a holographic simulation of riding, so is life. However, breathing in the air outside, bathing myself in the trees, looking up at the birds, seeing the reflection of the water has such a different feel to me than even having the largest HD TV in front of me and looking at a sheep or a goat as I'm walking or riding through this virtual world.
Right.
Doesn't have the same frequency.
It doesn't. There's something magical about it. I have, indoor spin machine and I love road cycling. That's, special.
So I used to race bicycles in Europe. I lived in Belgium and France, and we would have the UK road national team come out to some of the races there. It was kind of cool.
I bet you. Very cool.
All right, so let's go back to this. We're raising our vibration. We get movement. We get nature. I'm guessing next you're going to throw some music in there.
Yeah, right. And then, so I always say, move your body, get outside if you can, or shower, and then go to some sort of spiritual practice, whether that be listening to a song that just lights you up, that has beautiful lyrics, or it can be, doing a specific type of meditation practice, like a mantra meditation, or even just, the song Hallelujah, you just like popping that on, boom, it was straight in to the angels there. It's just some sort of then a moment of stillness. And that's where you start to raise your vibration, because here's the truth. Our natural state is centered. Our natural state is that we are high vibe. And usually when we've been exposed to something that makes us feel a certain way that is not good, it's temporary. And when it feels not good, it's because it's on the surface level of our energetic field. It's not there. It's just kind of like, you know, when you're looking out, you see something on the screen and you want to pick it off, or the windshield. It's on the windshield of your energy. It's there and it's annoying you, but it is temporary. And so movement, breathing, nature, shower, water, something like that, just to clean it, is there. And then in that moment, to listen, to change, is the opportunity to rewire the vibe, is the opportunity to create a new experience, to change the narrative. And that's what I did in Raise Your Vibration. I created 77 things that you can do just to get you back. But you can also just listen to your favorite song, sit in stillness, and that's the vibration starting to change. And in that moment of stillness, you have to do one thing, and it's you have to recognize that you are part of something greater. That's the goal. So it's about, for me, it's about recognizing that the divine has many facets, and it's in everyone, everywhere, every place. And it's about recognizing that and kind of, what I say, dulling the lines between the divine and me, you know, because in the world, we're told like the divine's up there, or the divine is coming soon, or you can only reach it in these certain states, but the divine is here in every moment. And in the moment we're calling in help, or we need a miracle, is the moment we've allowed ourselves to create a sense of separateness between us and the divine, when in fact the divine's there already. You just need to show up with it.
So this, you may have already answered this, but it's interesting. Dalai Lama, when he first came over here decades ago, he had written a book on happiness. And in one of his first interviews, he said how sad he was that his book on happiness was causing so many people suffering, because they were realizing they're not doing the practice, and then they were picking on themselves even more because of it. It's just one more thing they weren't doing. So we have people listening today, and it is very easy to get into a cycle of suffering of, oh, I listened to Kyle and my vibes went down. I'm not a good person. How do we break that cycle of suffering and judgment when we do go down?
The truth of the matter is that doing a spiritual practice, having a spiritual practice is a big commitment. And the truth of the matter is a lot of people don't stick with it because of the commitment. But I think the real reason why most people don't stick with the practice is it's because a part of them doesn't feel they deserve to feel that good or be that free. And the way I look at it is that as soon as you make it purposeful, then you can start to change it and the commitment shifts. So if you recognize that the commitment to the practice is actually for your future self and future generations, it might make you do it more. It might make you do it more. And I also go back to that one thing my mum said to me when I was very young, when I started doing this as my life. She said to me, if you can help one person, then you've done more than most. And it always sticks with me. So if you can help one person, you've done more than most, then, that's a big thing. So this isn't about beating yourself up or, pointing out like, I'm more spiritual than you or anything like that. Because the truth of the matter is, we're all spirit. We've all come from spirit, and we're all returning to spirit. And so therefore, that presence, that power, that light renders us as equal, whether you've done your practice or not. You're already good enough. But if you want to make a contribution to your own life, your future life and future generations, give yourself the 5 minutes a day you deserve just to tune into the power that you're part of. Like, that's it. That's it. And so I always just say, like, stop making it difficult. Put on the song in the car just before you step into the office then, just stay in the car for another 4 minutes and just close your eyes and then go into the office. You'll be a different person.
That is so hard for people. That's hard. There is such
That's why it's called spiritual work, not spiritual vacation, spiritual easy,
it begets a question. So we lived for a while just outside New York City. And if I did my automatic writing at 6 in the morning, I felt great. If I did my automatic writing somewhere between 6:30 and 7 with the highway outside the door of people trying to get into New York City, my writing was completely freaked out. We sync up with that energy around us. Everybody who's listening to this is an empath, is energetically sensitive, is really a mystic in training. Once you start working with that, you become a mystic. So the question is, how do we create that bubble around us? I'm thinking of people in their car at the office building, going to go in and they're saying, I'm going to take 4 minutes. There is such an energy, a vacuum, a Hoover sucking you in and upwards toward the elevator. How do we protect ourselves?
I mean, here's the truth. I think that's a personal thing because I love the sound of the city. I love cars. I can literally sit and not move in that. I'm like, whoa, I'm alive. So I actually did it for a newspaper a number of years ago where I actually sat in meditation in the middle of Edinburgh city centre for a number of hours. So I think you can get there. With that being said, I think it's just about, you can put the bubble of protection on. I recommend not doing that in a public place because sometimes you put stuff in the bubble with you. There's one thing I do every day, and it's this. I'll rub my palms and I'll create heat and warmth. And once I've got the heat and warmth, I'll put one hand on my heart, one hand on my belly, and I'll say, I am the keeper of my mind and of my body. And wherever love is present, fear is a stranger, and love is here in me. And I'll just keep repeating, and love is here in me. And sometimes I'll tap, I'll go, and love is here in me, and I'll keep affirming that. And so I get to that idea that wherever love is present, fear is a stranger, because they can't exist in the same space.
I love it. On that note, nobody, that's probably not fair. Nobody on air has seen these cards before. You can't buy them anywhere. You could shoot him an email and offer, I don't know, $1 million, but you can't buy them anywhere. He'll talk to you yet.
On Friday last week. So I was like, I need to share them with Michael.
Beautiful. All right. What are we doing?
Well, we picked 3 cards. One for our collective strength, something that the universe wants us to see as a strength. The second card we can do for a collective message from the heart. And the third thing is the challenge, the thing that needs our attention.
All right. Sounds good.
And if we work with our heart and work with our strength, we can overcome whatever the challenge represents. Great. Okay. Thank you, universe, for helping us pick the cards that best reflect what we need to know. You ready? Okay, our strength card is this. I call back my power.
Perfect.
Let's talk about this because when I was writing this, I had this clear vision. And I think this is what the shamans speak about when they're talking about soul retrieval. When we go about our life and whenever we are, exposed to situations that can be challenging and shattering, a little fragment of ourself can be left behind. Like the moment when something happens to us, it can feel overwhelming in such a way where we leave little parts of our soul behind. And I think what happens there is our innocence is stripped from us. And so I was doing this meditation one day, and I realized that there was little fragments of me left behind. And I imagined myself as a magnet. And they went, come shooting back. And so our strength is recognizing that all the parts of ourself that have been left behind are parts of ourself and therefore are ours to claim. And it does not matter what has happened to you or what has happened in your life. There's still parts of yourself that you can call back, and they are rightfully yours. And so the strength is the calling back of our power, that we can really be that topped up till we're overflowing again by recognizing that even though things have happened and we can't ever maybe let them go or get over them, there's a part of ourselves that can be claimed back. And when we claim that back, we can be restored. We can be healed. And I would say that there's a strength in finding that and claiming that.
I'm going to add one brief little bit because this parallels with my life personally right now, because you caught the Kim Russo show, and you may be aware that I'm only really doing interviews for the next, you caught me at the tail end before I pivot, 5 weeks. After that, it's
well, I didn't hear the full interview. I watched the first little part of it. It was pretty cool.
So I am being called to step in my power elsewhere. And it has been a year and a half coming of I don't know, but tug of war is the right term, spirit guiding me and saying, not yet, not yet, not yet, until a final full state of surrender. All right, let's follow this flow. I will call back my power by doing what is not doing what is no longer in perfect alignment. What I'm doing is beautiful, but there's something else I'm being called to do. And so this pruning that we all get to do at this time, we're all being called to look at our lives and saying, what's fitting me, what's serving me, what's not, I believe is that card specifically, I call in my power.
Well, here's the interesting thing. The next card is this. I clear my energy field. And so this is the message of the heart. And it's like to clear from your life, your energy field, your world, that which is not in alignment with you. It doesn't mean you have to cut it off forever, but it's just like I'm clearing space. And sometimes a miracle cannot enter our life until we make room for it. And so sometimes that's just about creating some emotional space, psychic space, physical space. But when you create the space, then the space presents the miracle. And so the message of the heart is I clear my energy field. This is about making a decision, a conscious decision to divert your awareness and your path towards what is working for you. Because what is working for you is allowing you to live with more meaning and more purpose. And if you're living with more meaning and more purpose, you have a direct connection to the divine. So that's the thing, is the majority of the world is not living the life they want. And they don't realize that there's a big decision to be played there, So the challenge card is this.
I lovingly accept myself. These are perfect.
And I think the challenge is it's not unachievable. The reason it's a challenge is because it's something we're all actively working on. So whoever's watching this right now, your strength is calling back the parts of yourself that you left behind. And that includes the gifts that you had to repress and push away in order to kind of fit into what was deemed acceptable, maybe in your childhood or your early years. It's about claiming that back and saying, hey, this is a really important part of me. And then the heart is saying, clear your energy field of the stuff that's standing between you and your best self or your highest good or your joy. And when you do so, you have a clearer road towards this self-acceptance. The main reason why all of us want to raise our vibration or we say, I need to be more positive, is because we know that this is actually contributing to greater healing. When we feel negative or in a funk, we don't want to be there because we know that's not who we're supposed to be. And so the lovingly accepting yourself only becomes possible when you get rid of the stuff from your life that you know is stopping you from seeing the best of you.
When we create space and we reclaim our power.
So we'll ask for one card for our miracle. What's our miracle today? I am protected by Source. All the hearts are here for you as well. That's
Well, and
so
I'm
cool.
I'm watching that. I'm thinking. So I say a prayer right before you pull that, and I say a prayer for baby Hannah's heart. Can't help it. And
I am protected by source. And look, stop making my arm hair go up here. We had I am safe, I am protected. This is the overall message, is that I think a lot of people feel called to raise their vibration, and that can show up in many different ways, like, feeling called to do more spiritual work, feeling called to having a spiritual practice, feeling called to maybe tap into your gifts or your sensitivity or your vulnerability. And yet at the same time, one of the main reasons why most of us don't fulfill that calling is because we're frightened. And I don't think we're frightened of being spiritually connected. I don't think we're frightened about whether people accept us or not. I think the reason we're really frightened is because something tells us that we're going to be powerful, and not all of us are ready to be that powerful. Sometimes it's easier to conform and follow someone else's rules. And when you fully raise your vibration, your power becomes your own.
And when you fully raise your vibration, it's hard to avoid being seen.
Right. Because your life's no longer your own. Your life's the universe's. And its plan for you is always going to be greater than your wildest dreams.
Amen to that, brother. So where can people go to find your book, to find your books, to find your cards, to find Kyle Gray?
Super easy. I made a little directory. It's raiseyourvibe.com. Everything's all listed there. And you can get in touch with me through that. And that's the best place. And on Instagram, I'm very into reels at the moment. I'm trying to do a reel a day.
I'll have to check it out. I'm looking over at Rue, and I don't know if it's going to be Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube. I think he's encouraging me to start something for him to do on a daily basis.
I think he's a TikToker, to be honest. Yeah, I think the world is ready for a TikToking Rue.
You could be right. He's 2 years by my side. He's saying it's time. You've got to get me out there.
Yeah, love it.
Any last words of wisdom on raising your vibes you want to share before we go into some sort of a Kundalini meditation here?
Yeah, I think the last thing I'm going to say is high vibes for me are high vibes for we.
Amen. And I'm going to ask one little question. Please forgive me based on that. Do high vibes for you have to look the same as high vibes for me?
No. Whatever makes your heart sing is what's right for you. High vibes can't be just one box. You can't box this. High vibe just means your life's aligned to love. And if your life's aligned to love,
you can't make this stuff up.
if your life is aligned to love, all the decisions you make in your life, everything that you do for them is going to make sense.
Beautiful. Let me grab the rooster. We're going to go from me to we. Hold on one second. He was waiting for that chance to chime in.
Can you hear it okay?
Oh, yeah. It's perfect. I'm going to turn down the volume a little bit. Yes, beautiful.
Yeah. I am the grace of God. I am the grace of God. I am the grace of God. I am the grace of Bring your hands onto the heart. And chant, I am the grace of God.
I am the grace of God.
Grace of God. I am the grace of God. I am the grace of God. I am the grace of God. Let's take a deep inhale, deep exhale, and realize that the divine is not up or down. The divine is in and through your heart. And so it is.
Woohoo! Melted the rooster.
I've never played that on my lap before. I've always done it on the floor, but there you go.
That was very cool.
I was like, should I bring us in? I was like, nah, let's just go straight there and take us to the song, the Shabbat Good.
It was awesome.
Thank you. Oh my goodness.
He's blissed out now. So his earlobes were red when we started, and they're white now. And his earlobes
Where are the ears on a rooster?
So these are the earlobes, and this is his ear right up here. And his earlobe changes color depending on his excitement level. If he's nervous or concerned for everybody around him, these are bright red. If he's very mellowed out by a meditation, they turn almost pure white.
Whoa.
And so like a chameleon, so the colors of his earlobes changed as we were singing, I Am the Grace of God.
Oh. So amazing.
You're such a good boy. You're such a good boy. I know. Everybody needs a meditative rooster. Everybody.
Mm-hmm. It's such a bizarre pet, but it makes so much sense because this is you, Michael.
It is, and it is my highest good or the highest good of all, or something even better. I was calling in dog. We got Rue.
Well, there you go. It's amazing.
So thank you.
The guru.
Oh man, yes. That was good. That was good, Kyle.
Oh, well, thank you so much for letting me do this with you today.
This has been brilliant. This has been beautiful. So I'll wrap things up here. So for everyone out there, this is Michael Sandler and Ruru, of course, the guru, saying be well, have fun, raise your vibration, and begin raising your vibration today, and above and beyond all else, shine bright. Woohoo! What a beautiful interview that was with Kyle Gray on Raising Your Vibes. Wow. I was impressed. I was dumbfounded. And I had the hair go up on my arms as well. On that note, we've talked so much about connecting with the other side of the veil. Come to automaticwriting.com. Join the Automatic Writing program. Learn how you can connect with your angels, with your guides, how you can start to become the mystic you were meant to be, and then join our School of Mystics. How does it get any better than this? Classes 4 Wednesdays every month to help bring out the mystic you were always meant to be at InspireNationUniversity.com. If you love this show, be sure to click the subscribe button, the bell icon to be notified of upcoming shows, YouTube premieres, live events every Monday with me and with Rue. Here's a link to the next amazing video. Love you guys so, so much. Mystic Circle down below if you want to check out the behind the scenes videos. How does it get any better than this? shine bright. Woohoo! How does it get any better than this, Rue? How does it get any better than this? Love you guys. Good job, Rue.